Hey everyone, in this lesson we will start discussing the series DC motor, the torque speed characteristics. How can I get the torque speed characteristics for a series DC motor? This is very simple, as you can see. The same as we did before, we have V terminal giving us I armature, which is the field current at the same time, right? Series field with our armature, leading to production of an induced EMF here, E back. Okay, so what we can see is that I load or I load here means I terminal. Okay, it should be I terminal because we don't have any load here. It should be I terminal or I supply equal to armature current equal to field current, right? Because all of them are series with each other. However, E back will be terminal voltage minus the voltage drop here. So it will be V terminal minus I armature R series plus RE plus RA. What does this even mean? R series, the field resistance, RA, armature resistance, RE is the external added resistance, the resistance which we add, okay, to control our motor, as we will see right now. So again, what we are going to do is that we get the two equations, E back equal to K phi omega, or omega if you are talking about the American accent, torque equal to K phi I armature. Now what I would like to do is that I'm going to type omega, so omega will be E back over K phi. Okay, so E back over K phi, but before this we can do a little trick here. Okay, what is the trick exactly? As you can see that the armature current in this case, all of this are series with each other. So it means that as I armature increase, our flux increase, right? Because I armature is exactly I field. Okay, and if we assume that, so I armature or flux directly proportional to I armature, so we can say that phi is a constant, let's say K1 I armature, right? Constant multiplied by R. Let's say, of course, we are talking about the magnetic linearity is assumed. What I mean by this, remember that the pH curve, when we are operating in the linear region, this is a linear region. This is a magnetic linearity in which the current, as current increase, flux increase. Okay, so what else? I'm going to take this and substitute it here. So it will be E equal to K, which is the first constant, phi, which is K1IA, K1IA, omega M. And exactly the torque will be K1IA, K1IA multiplied by IA. So it will give us E equal to, you can see we have a constant multiplied by another constant. So I will say that it is K series, any constant, okay? IA omega M, and the torque will be the same constant, K series, IA square, right? IA square. So it will be like this. So K series IA omega and K series IA square, right? Okay, what else? I'm going to type omega with respect to E back. So omega will be E back over K series I armature. Okay, so omega from this equation here, omega will be E back divided by K series I armature. And we know that E back itself from this equation is V terminal minus IA R series plus RE plus RA. Divide omega will be the same value divided by KS IA, right, which is this equation here. Okay, then what? As you can see that we can divide this into omega M equal to V terminal over KS EIA minus IA, let's say R total for now for simplicity, KS IA, right? Now we know that from this equation that IA from here will be root torque over KSE, right? So what I'm going to do that? What I'm going to do that I will substitute with this here, okay? So our V terminal, okay, of course, sorry, IA will go as IA here, so we have R total over KSE, okay? Okay, leave this for now. This is just a constant, negative R over KSE. For this part, we have KSE I armature. So KSE I armature is root TA over KS. Root TA over KSE, right? So this is exactly V terminal over root torque multiplied by KSE divided by half KSE gives us root KSE. Okay, so it's very simple, just a mathematical simplification. So you can see that the total resistance divided by KSE, as you can see here, and this one is V terminal divided by root KSE, root torque of the armature. Okay, great. So what you can see here is that we have now the relation between omega and root torque. By simplification, you can simply say that omega is inversely proportional to root torque. So the relation, if you plot this figure, or before plotting, let's just say this is a very important part regarding the series DC motor, that if we don't have any kind of load, which means torque equal to 0, it means that V terminal over 0 gives us infinity, which means omega will be very, very large if we don't have any load. That's why for a series DC motor, it is never be started without any kind of loads. It must be connected with a load. That's why you will find that series DC motor is used in electrical or in electric traction systems. Now, if we plot this relation, omega and root TA, it will be like this. Inversely proportional. As torque increase, omega will go down, as you can see here. And at 0 torque, omega is going to infinity. And also, as you can see, as omega equal to 0, torque is almost infinity. Very large torque. So what does this mean? It means that at a 0 speed, it gives us large torque. Why it is very helpful for us? Because in electric traction system, we need a motor that will start with a large load. So in electric traction system, we have people and other entering our train, and I would like to start our train with a large torque presented. So at omega equal to 0, at 0 speed, when it is in a station, it can start with a large torque, can handle this large load. That's why series DC motor is very helpful in electric traction systems. Now, what will happen if I increase V terminal? By changing V terminal, it will be like this. It will go up, right, like this. As V terminal increase, omega will go up. What about resistance? As resistance increase, our variable resistance increase, omega will go down. So it will be opposite direction, like this. As you can see that by increasing resistance, our curve will go down. And also by increasing V terminal, you will see that it will go up. Okay, they are the same curve, but the difference is what? That if I would like to know again the operating point, simply we intersect these two, the torque of our load with the characteristics. So this is our operating point, or this or this. Now, of course, by increasing V terminal, the characteristics will go up. Okay, like this. Okay. Now, the series motors are used where large starting torques are required, which is in automobile starters, traction, cranes, locomotives, and etc. The torque speed characteristic of a various DC motors. So we have seen the shunt and we have seen the our friend the series DC motor. For other types it will be like this. This is for shunt, almost constant characteristics due to armature reaction and the voltage regulation for this type of motors. For the series it is inverse. Omega with torque, it is an inverse relation as you can see here. What about differential and cumulative? Now the problem of differential and cumulative. Now remember that in cumulative we increase our flux, right? We provide more flux. And in differential we have field, lower field, right? So and since we have more field, it means that let's get back. If you remember from the torque speed characteristics, omega was inversely like this, phi square. As flux increase, the omega will go down. That's why in cumulative this is a shunt, and in cumulative we have more flux leading to fast reduction in speed. That's why if this is a shunt, then cumulative will also go more down. Okay, in the differential field weakening we have lower field than shunt. This will lead to higher speed. That's why it will go up. Okay, that is only the difference between these three types. So what are the applications of DC motors? We have a shunt motor. It is considered as a constant speed motor used in applications, various applications like pumps, blowers, and fans. It's also for the series motor. It can be used as a variable speed motor, high starting torque, and it's used in elevators, electric tractions, vacuum cleaners, and etc. The compound motor differentially is not used, rarely used, but the cumulative used in process and other applications.